Kia ora, good evening. There was a meeting of police and search and rescue advisors this morning in Te Anau to consider search options for a missing tramper following heavy rain overnight. The woman was walking the Milford track with her Australian partner when she became caught in the Pompolona Creek on Monday in the afternoon and was swept into the Clinton River. A small window of opportunity arose this afternoon at Te Anau for a further search. Police and search and rescue returned to the Clinton River area and continued to search by helicopter. A severe weather watch has been issued for Fiordland, Southland and Otago and other parts of the South Island. A heavy rain warning is in force for Fiordland and heavy rains also expected to spill over into headwaters of Otago lakes and rivers tomorrow and Friday. Strengthening northwesterlies are expected to reach gale force in exposed parts of Otago and Southland. In Invercargill today, surface flooding was evident in urban areas following heavy rainfall overnight. Environment Southland have removed flood warnings as the day has progressed. Environment Minister Amy Adams today released a discussion document on possible options to improve the way waste products are managed in New Zealand, especially those which can cause harm to the environment.
The government is considering whether it should intervene to improve the management of 4 product waste streams: electrical and electronic equipment, tyres, agrochemicals and farm plastics and synthetic greenhouse gases. It is estimated that each year up to 3 million mobile phones become obsolete in New Zealand. Of those, only 2% are recycled. Ms Adams says she's concerned about the risk of environmental harm from having tens of thousands of tonnes of waste products dumped in landfill unnecessarily. She says nearly 8 million computers were in New Zealand homes and businesses in 2010. All of these computers will reach the end of their life at some stage, accelerated by rapid moves of new technology.
Victoria Burnett describes herself as a lifelong storyteller. The musician, singer-songwriter, cancer survivor and educator is in the South as part of the Southland Festival of the Arts. Burnett believes storytelling can be emotionally healing and says her practical classroom experience gave her insight into learning styles, and she uses the same techniques with audiences.
You have visual learners, people who size you up when you come out with what you have on, what you look like. Is it comfortable to me? Is she mean? Is she nice? Well, I learned that there's visual learners. I learned that there are oral learners, people who just listen, and they have a long attention span, and they learn that way. I learned that there are people that are kinesthetic learners that must learn through doing. There are many other learners. There are spatial learners. There's people who learn through the nature, who learn by what they experience in the environment of nature. So I had to incorporate that. And because my passion is to make a difference in this world through my storytelling. There once was an elephant who started his day like he started it every day. He'd wake up and give his trunk a stretch, and he'd give his tail a stretch at the same time.
It's such a traditional way of communicating storytelling. How do you see the effects on communities and people these days with the internet and that instant gratification of having a story told as opposed to using your own imagination to create it?
For what I see, our children, and I may be from America, but I see all children from all countries as my children when I get an opportunity to tell. Our children are losing the ability to just be present and to connect in this moment and not be thinking about other things, and so busy with their games, their video things, and the internet games that they're doing. So preoccupied and engaged with immediate gratification. They don't take the time to listen while a person develops their thought. And I think that's important, and that's what storytelling does. That's what music does. That's what movement, that's what the arts do. But specifically, what I like to do is to incorporate all of the arts, to integrate the arts, and to present those in a way that causes people to be better or want to be better, and to want to share their stories and to pass it on to the next generation. Little hummingbird, And not just an ordinary hummingbird. This hummingbird was laying in the middle of the road on her little back with her legs stretched out and her feet extended. Well, I heard that the sky just might be falling today. And I came because I care about my family and my friends and the whole world. I came here to do my part in keeping it up.
Last night, the Invercargill City Council began consulting with Esk Street retailers and property owners as to the final form of the first stage of the inner city upgrade. Last week it was revealed the City Council considered the centre of Esk Street to be its preferred starting point for any inner city redevelopment. Retailers and property owners were invited to participate in discussions surrounding the upgrade process and to give their views on upgrade options they prefer. There to answer queries and consider concepts were Craig Pocock from Pocock Design Environment, members of the Inner City Design Subcommittee and council engineers. The second consultative meeting is scheduled for this evening. Stay with us after the break. Open season dates are set for Queenstown's main ski fields. Welcome back. Venture Southland's Phil McCarthy was at Southland Girls High today promoting the Giga Town competition to Year 8 and 9 students. Students are making a short film that could potentially earn up to 300,000 points towards the Giga School competition. Hunter Andrews went back to the classroom today to find out more about the Giga Town and Giga Schools competitions.
So it's a year-long competition being run by Chorus, so there's 50 cities and towns around New Zealand, and it's to win a gigabit connection for every home, school, business in the winning city/town. They get that for 3 years and they get it at a heavily discounted rate, so it's getting ultra-fast broadband, the fastest broadband you can get really, at a cheap price. And there's also a $200,000 prize for the town or city that wins, and that's to go into a tech project, something that the community wants to invest in, an entrepreneurial, startup schemes, that sort of thing, to really kind of boost some of those tech projects, some of those bright ideas that people have, whether it's an app or whether it's another sort of technologically related business idea.
And how do you get involved in Giga Town, and how do you accrue points?
Okay, so there's two main ways of scoring. You can put hashtag Giga Town Invercargill or hashtag Giga Town IVC, which is the short hashtag, on all your Twitter posts and your Facebook
Just any
page.
Twitter post, any interaction?
Yeah, any Twitter post. On Facebook, it's on the Giga Town Invercargill page. So we've got about 700 or 800 people signed up already, and we're looking for more. So each post on that page, we pick up points. But you also register, everyone that registers can choose a town, and that town gets 10 points. So obviously the more people, the merrier. We really want encouraging people to sign up and score those 10 points, because it's 10 easy points. Plus there's lots of little mini competitions. We're at Girls High today talking about Giga Schools, and it's a video competition where the winning school can win 300,000 points. Second place is 200,000 points. And we're on about 40,000 points at the moment. And we're in 15th. Wanaka's in first. They're on about 1.5 million points.
15,
so
it's not bad though for 50.
It's not too bad. Yeah, we're kind of in the back of the leading pack, you might say. But there's a lot of points to be made up. So these mini competitions, which have been run quite often, we really need to score heavily. But Chorus is pulling some rabbits out of the hat. There's some big points on offer. So we've got 3 months to go, and we're going to give it a good dash anyway, and see how we can go.
There's certainly an attentive lot listening to you. You'll be getting around schools and things like that to encourage other schools, and even if you don't get there, then they should think about doing it. Yeah,
absolutely. We'd love as many schools to enter as possible in Invercargill. It's fantastic prizes on offer for them. So there's the points, but there's also $2,500–3,000 worth of video equipment, that sort of thing, and other tech prizes. I think there's lots of cameras available. So there's good prizes on offer for the schools. All they need to do is make a 2 to 5 minute video, and it's about how the internet, how technology is being used in the classroom, and how they think it's going to be used in the future.
The 2014 ski season is set to be underway in a few weeks, with 2 Queenstown ski fields opening their slopes in June. Coronet Peak has announced it will open on the 7th of June. Night skiing terrain will double this year, with illuminated skiing scheduled from June 27th until mid-September. Coronet will also be launching Park After Dark this season, a freestyle run with boxes, rails and a giant airbag to cater to skiers and riders who like to hit the terrain parks. The Remarkables are also gearing up for an epic 2014 ski season, which includes the launch of the Curvy Basin 6-seater chair. Remarkables opens to the public on June 21st. Theatre Fest 2014 is Theatre New Zealand's flagship event, and they're currently gearing up for their annual nationwide competition of one-act plays. Local heats for Otago and Southland are being held in Invercargill soon, and I spoke to coordinator Jade Gillies about what's involved.
The local heat is being held at Repertory House on the 1st and 2nd of August, but entries close on the 5th of July. So this is why we're putting a call out now, because it takes a little bit of time to find a script, to get the rights to do it, to find a cast and then rehearse it. So if you want to be involved, now is the time to be thinking about it.
So any restriction on character numbers within that one-act play, or is it more on time?
Two things here. The criteria is only that the play itself has to be between 15 and 50 minutes, and it has to have at least 2 actors in it. But apart from that, it's completely open in its genre and its style, and everything is completely over to the director.
Talking about directors, there is a slight lack of directors in Southland, and one of the ideas this year is to try and get more new directors involved in this.
Exactly right, and this is the ideal platform for that. It's meant to be a learning environment, so even if you haven't directed before or you're quite new to it, it's a good chance to give it a go and then get feedback from industry veterans, because as I say, every play is adjudicated, and the idea of that adjudication is not to be critical but to give you ideas about how you could perhaps do things differently. So it is very much a friendly environment and a learning process.
So this constructive platform will help directors to learn more about that process. What makes a good director?
Lots of different things. It's helpful if you've got some kind of grounding in all aspects of theatre, but that's not absolutely essential. Basically, a director is the creative controller of the project, so it's their vision of all of the creative aspects, and they're overseeing the whole project that comes together at the end. So, for example, you need to know. You need to have a good understanding of the script for starters, and what the playwright's intentions are with the script. You're responsible for casting the thing as well, and then getting those actors up to speed. But you also need to know what sort of feeling you want in terms of the lighting components, the sound, costuming. So it is pretty daunting if you've never done it before, but as I say, this is a good platform to at least start that process.
Any restriction on age groups? There's a lot of young people in schools that are getting into theatre. Is it something that they could be picking up and running with?
It's designed for 2 categories really. There's the open section for people of any age, and then there's a youth section which is more targeted at high school groups and other theatre groups around that age. In fact, through entering this competition, there is the opportunity to get NCEA credits, and yeah, so it's a good platform for ticking both of those boxes really.
We've got basketball action for you up after the weather next, when we take a look at the Sharks' recent victory over the Pistons. From the news team, good night.